AllShorts, and I made a brew for a change. Yeah, I've got some green tea. Keep me calm, I suppose. I'll talk about all this madness that's going on in the United States at the moment. We have our fair amount of madness in the United Kingdom, but it's not to the degree of, it's just not on the same level, is it, of what's going on in the United States. Now, Donald Trump has enacted Section 10 of 12406, which allows a government to utilise, the National Guard and what have you. And this is in case of either insurrection or it could be an invasion. But Donald Trump's using on people who are peacefully protesting. It didn't turn nasty until they actually turned up. And even then, most people were, peacefully protesting. And those who were, quite frankly, causing trouble, they look like different people than that was there before. So that kind of makes me wonder. And that sounds a bit of a conspiracy theory. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just how I've interpreted what I can see. But, there's people out there literally confronting the, which I'll show some videos in a moment, confronting the National Guard who are there, basically saying, basically telling them, what are you doing, attacking us when we're just exercising our constitutional right, and your job is to exercise the Constitution themselves. They're there to defend the Constitution, not to defend the President of the United States. The President of the United States, he swore an oath. Although he didn't put his hand on the Bible. He swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, didn't he? Hello, Jazz Maniac. Says hi, hello there. Good afternoon to you too, Chrome Dome. I'm swinging in my hammock that I am. God, so it's going to be a hot day today. It's going to be, they reckon it's going to be 36 degrees Celsius. I don't know that in Fahrenheit, but it's hot. Put it like that, it's hot. So I thought I'd come out in the morning. It's about 11 o'clock here in France. And watching the madness escalate last night into what would be my morning is nothing short of sad, really. It's quite depressing to see. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's live stream that that the actions of this president could be used to justify similar actions abroad, whether it be in Hungary, for instance, or even Poland, Italy, France. Although in France, they don't give a shit. They will protest no matter what, you see. It's all down to, the French Constitution as well. At the end of the day, they've also got a right to protest, just like you got your First Amendment rights. See, your First Amendment rights, it does say that the government's not allowed to impede your freedom to speak, to protest, to exercise your rights. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did yesterday. Now, he said he stood up there in some sort of babbling, incoherent sentence that he's going to send in 2,000 National Guard. Okay. 300 turned up. Then he said 4,000 National Guard. Still, there's only 300 there. And now he's just made a statement sending in the Marines. The feckin' the Marines. The Marines, for Christ's sake. What the hell is this man thinking? Honestly. And any of those who actually decided to take part in this, and maybe they need to stand up against it, The military need to stand up against this, because I know they've got their own constitution. Well, they've also signed the Constitution, haven't they? Done their oath and all that to the Constitution, and yet they've been sent in to antagonise and attack their own people. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, exactly. Somebody did a live stream in the in LA They felt perfectly safe until the cops actually turned up, firing bloody rubber bullets. One Australian reporter, she got shot in the leg with a rubber bullet. Okay, she was okay, but still, it should never have happened. She's a reporter, for Christ's sake, with a great microphone and a camera behind her, you know? She's there to do a job. And then another, 70-year-old, I think 75-year-old photographer, got shot in the leg with what looked like was a foam bullet, I think they call it a foam bullet. Anyway, it penetrated his leg, caused a hole in his leg of about 60 mil, so what's that, 2.5 inches by inch and a half, 40 mil. He had to go to hospital and be operated on. You know, no, these actions are out of hand. And then I saw another video clip of the LA police beating up somebody. They were on the horseback, the LAPD, and they were bashing this one guy on his own. In fact, trampling him with the horse. I've got that video clip there for you as well. It's just disgusting. It is just disgusting. Anyway, don't forget people the old like button. Anyway, this is a bit of a casual one, that is, and sort of, laying there in the hammock while the missus is working in the house. We were going to be doing a bit of gardening today, but I think it's going to be a bit too hot. So I think I'll be building my door instead for a customer. So yeah, so lots have been going on, isn't it? You know, and it's not good. It's not good. And the more they antagonise those in the protests, the more defensive people can become, and the more they're going to be seen as being the agitators when they're not. Donald Trump is the agitator. Hello, Knights Templar. Do you feel safe in America? I'd be paranoid. I'd be paranoid, especially with mass school shootings and mentally ill attacking. I could live there. No way I can try. No, I couldn't live there either, to be honest. And that's not to say there isn't good people there. Of course there's good people there. And it's a beautiful place. There's beautiful places in the United States. Of course there is, you know. It's actually a beautiful country, really. You know, just run by a load of idiots, you could say. Well, look at the bright side. It looks like Donald Trump's family could be taken to court in Serbia over acquisitions, I think, to do with these properties for hotels and stuff. So as you already probably know, Donald Trump's family have been they've been raking it in since he was since he's the president of the United States. He's done quite well, you know. There's always a Trump posse wherever he goes. See what business they can rack up. Like they did in Qatar. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, I am drinking a green tea. Our green tea is in the pot. I'm civilised today. Oh dear. So, where was I? Now, I mentioned in here that it's about it being illegal, what he's doing, and he's utilising. Well, he's trying to make out that he's instigated the Insurrection Act, but he hasn't. He's used Section 10. I think it's Section 10 for. Crikey, you got to get my head right in the head now. 12406, and in there it doesn't state anything in there about turning on your own people, and the act hadn't been used since God knows when, 1976 or something stupid like that, when one state decided that they weren't going to enact the segregation, segregation between blacks and the whites, what have you, when that was all ended, like in the schools and stuff, you know. What a horrendous piece of history that is. Slavery. What's even worse is when they had the black slave owners. And what's even worse than that is when the slave, for instance, in the United Kingdom, the slave owners were compensated. That's nuts. We just recently finished paying for it. Do you know that? We just recently finished paying full reparations to the slave owners. Yeah, those who were murdered and beaten and hung and God knows what else, stolen from their homes, forced to work chain gangs or cotton fields, what have you, sugar plantations. They got nothing. They got nothing. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Illegal immigrants will be gone, will they? Yeah. You do realise that they're not just finding what they call illegals. You're not actually an illegal immigrant anyway. That doesn't know how it works. If you're an undocumented migrant, you are not an illegal. That's the law. That's just daft. It's sad to see, and it's sad to see the idiocy as well from people. You know, some people are just fucking horrible, let's be honest. They just are horrible. They're just happy to hate on those really who are the people who are actually keeping their country afloat. You know, those people doing those jobs, they're doing the jobs that nobody else wants. Let's be honest, we've had the same problem in the United Kingdom regarding immigration and what have you. You know, you just end up getting different immigrants because you find that you really, oh shit, we need them. So you end up getting them from somewhere else. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Look what happened in the United Kingdom. We had the Brexit, right? When all those numpties, they put that cross in the wrong box, that they did, right? And they voted to leave the European Union. Absolutely ridiculous, right? And that blocked a lot of European migrants coming to the UK doing work. Well, I think let's say, for instance, the Romanians who are coming over working in the fields. And now they can't get them. They can't get people with other money to work the fields, and we have food rotting in the fields in the UK. Still happening. Still happening. We just had a shitload of strawberries rotting in the fields because they couldn't get anyone to pick them. And they couldn't even export them in time before they rotted because of regulations, because they're all destined for France. So you end up getting from somewhere else. Now, also for the United Kingdom, if you think about the NHS as our health service, free at the point of use, unlike in the United States, where they let you die first. Free at the point of use. Well, we had a shortage of nurses, 40,000 nurses that we were short of in the United Kingdom, 60,000 doctors we were short of in the United Kingdom, and that's even with migration from Europe, right? What are they doing now? Well, they cut off migration from the EU, and now we're getting them from Africa. Which, just like, F you, racist bastards. Look what's happened. You've got more brown faces. We're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of nurses who are coming over from Africa to the United Kingdom. But even that door is closed somewhat now, since Africa themselves have put a restriction on nurses, and it's not just going to the UK, it can be going anywhere, right? Where they have to do a certain amount of service as a nurse in their own country, because a lot of them are just getting trained up and then find their way in the UK or any other country that needs them. And obviously they had a shortage of nurses themselves, so fair dues on them. They've acted on it, and that's something that needs to be done. We didn't have to be in this shitty place, And you've got to try and tell me, like for instance, what's going on in the United States, that it's better now than it was. No. It's not going to be better. If you can't keep your economy running because you haven't got the people to make it work, well, then you screwed yourselves. Voting for a man who quite frankly has no interest in you. He doesn't care about you. Like, Latinos for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, Cubans for Trump. Trump doesn't love you. No. He hates you. He's just using you. He's saying what he thinks you want to hear. He absolutely detests you. Takes a food token black people in, in the government somewhere, out of the way. Save a little bit of face. It's madness. I feel safe. I'm from New York City. New York, yeah, from the Big Apple, are you? There are places, isn't there? There's going to be places where you feel you're going to be murdered by the police or the Marines. There's nothing this country can make me feel unsafe. I was born here. Well, so were many who are exercising their birthright citizenship. So that's obviously good for you. Yeah, it's fine, isn't it? Birthright citizenship, that's fine. Oh, Donald Trump's trying to get rid of that one, isn't he? Okay, it's blocked in the courts, but he's ignoring the courts anyway, isn't he? Okay, I've got to say this, it's not about the illegal immigrants. Don't be naive, people. No, it's not. Of course it's not about... No, well said. Prairie Alchemy is saying here, it's not about the illegal immigrants. Don't be naive. No, it's about Donald Trump's kingship. It's about Donald Trump creating his own little dynasty, yeah? You heard of... there'll be Ming vases, there's going to be Trump vases. There'll be the Trump dynasty. That's all he cares about. It's kingship. He wants to be king, effectively. He'll crown himself. He's pretty much done that already, hasn't he? I heard some reporter lost an eye due to rubber bullet. Bloody hell. That's the past protest, yeah. Thank you, Joel. We've got nutcases, have we? You're going to get them, aren't you? You're going to get them. I don't mind people on both sides to go and have let's have a debate. Let's discuss it. But I'll be absolutely honest with you and clear with you. The fact is that... Oh, did I just see a super chat? I did, didn't I? I missed it. Just a second. Right. Where's the super chat? I did see one flash up. I've got a tiny, tiny little screen on this phone. It's here somewhere. Where have I missed it? I've gone the wrong way. I found it. I do apologise, Chrome Dome. Thank you, buddy. Cheers. Put some ginger in that tea. I actually planted some ginger the other day. About a month. Actually, about 4 weeks ago now. Yeah, about a month ago. I always have my green tea on ice. Well, this will end up being on ice later. I'm just having some hot green tea at the moment. In my teapot. Yep, I am. And in a glass. I can hear my poor missus. She said, I said, oh, we're going to do a live stream. Because if I try to do one tonight, I'll be absolutely... I'll get knackered so quickly these days. I've got fibromyalgia, so I get so tired. And, yeah, so it's better in the mornings for me. It's probably very early for you. It's about lunchtime here. Well, 11:30, I think, something like that. It is refreshing, green tea. Ginger. Yep, you are 100% right. The Deadpool, is it dead? The dead boy. What? The French do it right. Yeah. Well, I'm in France, in case you know. I live in France, and I've been when that was Gilly Dawn first started out. There's a woman who started that, and she did it for all the right reasons, and we kind of. So I ride a motorbike, you see. We did food rides and what have you, protests with the Gilly Dawn early on. Then it turned to be just a political stunt by those who are anti-government, and it just lost its soul. So I stopped quite quickly, actually. That soon got twisted. That's the thing, a lot of these things get weaponised. It's like the term woke, for instance. What does it really mean? It just means, being aware, being awake, being aware of your surroundings, socially aware. And yeah, it's a black term, that's what it is. It's been weaponised. At the end of the day, you should be aware, you should be socially aware, you should be aware of other people, you should be aware of your children. And if you're not woke, then quite frankly, you obviously hate your kids, There again, saying that, those on the right tend to be the ones who are well, to keep going on about so-called lefty paedophiles and, you know, sex offenders, or, you know, drinking the blood of the babies, yeah, and eating the cats and eating the dogs. It's usually those, you know, Sparta Delta, the ones who are actually enacting those heinous crimes. Like Donald Trump, he's the first one to tell people what they've all done, but he's just done it himself. He's just told. He's just trying to make it illegal to wear a face mask in LA at the moment, right? Okay. The irony in that, he's going to tell that to the National Guard, he's going to tell it to the APD, he's going to tell it to the Marines when they turn up, if they do. You know? It's just, the hypocrisy of these people is just, it's just unreal. It is, isn't it? It's just, it's crazy. It really is. And there's someone looking in from the outside. Get my news from all different sources, not just my preferred source. You do get a sense of media manipulation. Now, it's all subtle, very, very subtle. Now, I watched some reports by Fox News, you know, state-owned media, might as well be, and how they were reporting on this, and the video was literally just them setting up a band, alright, and they're making out it was like there's some kind of a really agitated protest. It was just, it was inflamed. The description was inflamed, and there was no violence, there was no nothing. It was just them just setting up a band. That was gonna, you know, it's an excuse to have a bit of a jaunt in that, you know. It's just not jaunt, or maybe a joint. I don't know. That wouldn't be me. No. That's one thing I say I've never done. I've never done drugs. If they paid a living wage, I'd pick strawberries. Good point. The problem is you want me to pick them for... Yeah, well, what is the... $7.15 or 25 or something? The minimum wage in the United States? What a fucking joke. It hasn't gone up in like 15 years. No, 67 years. Yeah, it hasn't gone up. Having a joke, haven't they? Taking the piss. You see, the thing is, you see, these people that everybody seems to hate so much are the ones who are willing to do those jobs. And we could argue, well, they've got to pay more money, like you're saying. Living wage, which is still pretty low money, isn't it? What would it be, $15 now, living wage, something like that? I don't know what it is over in the United States, what you consider living wage, to be honest. But anyway, it means who wants to pay more for their groceries, you know, for their strawberries? And also it's seasonal work. You know, who really wants to be earning tiny amounts of money just for a few months of the year? It doesn't make any sense, does it? We're all going to become superfluous anyway. You know, we're all going to find ourselves out of work as things progress with artificial intelligence. It's already happening. Microsoft has just announced another 4,000 job losses. AI. A third of Meta, you know, Mark Zuckerberg with the weird hair. Oh, actually, he's got ordinary hair now, hasn't he? It's just, anyway, Mark Zuckerberg, he got rid of a third of his programmers. Even, you know, my son-in-law, he was a programmer. He's now have looked for different type of work. He's actually training to be a driving instructor now. You know, another friend of ours as well, he's Alista. He's just lost his contracts because of AI. AI isn't necessarily got to do all of it, but it's reducing the need. Whereas you say all these little programmers, usually online, and that, you know, talk to each other through chat, mate, and they'd be doing little parts, little bits, solving issues in the program, and they're all going to come together. You know, it's not just necessarily one person doing all the programming. It's lots and lots and lots of people involved, and you know, in regarding testing and all that sort of stuff. We need doctors, we do. In the UK, as I mentioned earlier, that's 60,000 doctors shortage in the UK. 60,000. Now, if the government wanted to do something about it, They would. For a start, they'd bring back the bursary. I don't know what it's like in the United States. I imagine you have to pay in the United States for your education. In Scotland, you don't need to. In the United Kingdom, you need to. You used to have a bursary, which is a grant. And they got took away and brought back again eventually in a very lightweight fashion. Really, it's not much use. And also, the working environment isn't good in the UK. It's been squeezed so much now. Get every little bit of cream, and people just run off their feet. It's not a great job. Now, in France, it's kind of makes me laugh. It does. You have people in France, right? The locals. They're saying the healthcare is useless. It is in French, and they'll be complaining about it because it wasn't necessarily what it was before. You've got a pharmacy, for Christ's sake, in every single town. Every single town has a pharmacy in France. There's a shitload of pharmacies. And why have they got it? It's because the French are hypochondriacs. Seriously. Oh my giddy aunt, you can't come out of there without a carrier bag of medications. I tell you, it's horrendous. And yes, but any attack on their health service in France is that's protest territory. It really is. And as the doctor that looked after my dead wife, she's had a problem with her urinary tract. This little valve thing that does the job properly, and he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and we have lovely conversations with him. And he was saying that actually he isn't French. He's oh crikey, where's he from? Bosnia. He's a Bosnia doctor. Anyway, he was saying that it's not as good as it used to be. He's been here quite a while. He trained in France, and he was pretty much saying the same thing. But I was just thinking about stuff. Crikey, you think it's bad air? They're doing 70-hour weeks. You've got the law in France. I think it's 35 hours in France. You're not allowed to work more than 35 hours if you're employed. So no one's getting a boost. I'm not saying fluorine. No, I'm not 100% right. I'm not going to argue that. The life in the United States is no joke. The struggle is real. I can see it for myself. I'm not a fool. People having to live in these. I watched oh crikey! This was an American program, and a bit like in the UK we have a similar program where you go in there and clean all the house out and stuff like that. Yeah. And there was one old boy who used to, every day, he'd go out and collect stuff in the carrier bags and just get dumped in old freezers in his garden and stuff, and completely overwhelmed. In the UK, this was. Well, there's another guy that I watched them do a clean-up. He had his kids taken away because the place was just so disgusting. His older children reported him. Because it was just, kids shouldn't be living in this mess. And this trailer that he's living in is just full of damp. I was looking at the other trailers nearby and stuff like that, and I thought, crack little shit. How can you live like that? That's not living. That's where a society as a whole has broken down. It's not just the government. The government should be there to set the pace, but it's down to the people to want to make a difference as well. And let's say, for instance, tribal communities, all right? Hunter-gatherer. And you've got these tribal communities. What do? You have your leaders and what have you. You have those who are the gatherers, and those who are the hunters, those are the medicine doctors and stuff like that. But that's a community. Everybody has a place in that community. And I think that's what's happened in many of these places now. I'm not saying you'll have hunter-gatherers, but that kind of... I think people become so transient now. They're moving from one place to the next. They lose the soul in the villages and small towns. And they just become just places you pass through. Now, I lived most of my life with my dear wife in a little place called Salhouse in Norfolk in the UK, And that little place is a beautiful little village. When we first met Caroline, had a wonderful community spirit. It really did. And the school had around 130 odd children in the school. So it's a very small school. But you'd expect, as the actual village expanded, which it did, you'd have more children needed to go to school, but we didn't. We had less. Because all what's happening is people were buying second-hand homes, or mature people were moving up from London and what have you, because they decided they've had enough in London. Oh, we can buy, we can free up some capital and buy a cheaper property in, say, Salhouse, which is a beautiful place still. It's quite expensive now. Because obviously house prices have all gone up. Now the young people can't afford to live there. So, as a community, it's just broken down. It's not really a proper community anymore. The same thing happened to our local town called Rackheath, but that happened to that lot sooner. It becomes just somewhere you pass through. It's these places lose their soul, and the communities lose their soul. And normally it revolves around one person or one group of people who hold it all together and do all the organising. But you could argue this is where multiculturalism doesn't necessarily bind the community, because you have all these. I can say that, why shouldn't it really? As long as everybody's open to everybody, why can't you, accept other religions and that, make it the part of your community, as long as they accept you? Should be able to, shouldn't you, really, I suppose? Your doctors are coming to Canada, yes they are. I'm not going to argue with you. In the United Kingdom, we've got a massive problem with doctors leaving. They've had enough. And they're standing to lack of money. And the government's got its hands tied. They haven't got the money. A lot of that is down to Brexit. It's really screwed themselves, Brexit. It's damaged the UK's economy. Its GDP, all right, is about the same. All right, it hasn't gone up. It's about the same. But the cost to get there is higher. So there is less profit. So there's less money to spend. And with everything going on as well, the borrowing is so high. The cost of borrowing is high. The same as got in the United States, your bonds and it's crippling you. You got oh crap! I've got to do a video on this. It just reminds me. China has been selling up a shitload of bonds, government bonds, such as those in, for the United States. They hold around 800 billion in US bonds. They hold around 3 trillion in bonds around the world, and Japan is 1.1 trillion of United States bonds. We call them guilds in the UK, but and that's basically an IOU. So the government saying, yes, we'll borrow this money, we'll pay the interest on it, but we owe you. It's a loan, isn't it? The interest rate, because of the state of the dollar and the fact that it's been devalued. See, Moody's devalued it, didn't they, for a start? Knocked it off its pedestal. It's not something that's going to recover anytime soon, unless Donald Trump is out of the government. And the same thing's happening in the UK. And it's not necessarily because a government is not going to save the United Kingdom. A new government ain't going to save it. We need a fucking miracle. We need a shitload of bloody money. We've got to invest in infrastructure. It's where the money should be going. Not on blooming ice, like for instance what's going on in the United States. That's not investing in the infrastructure. That's not going to get people to be able to go to work quicker and cheaper. Such as, trains, for instance. You look in China, right? China has the most fantastic rail network. It's fantastic. Modern, clean, fast, reliable. Everything that every other rail network isn't, especially in the UK, right? Well, they don't look at it as, what money can it make me? They look at it as in, what will this provide the country? Will it get people to work? It's not about profit. Whereas in the UK and the United States, it's owned by somebody and somebody's looking to make a profit. And that's where it's all wrong. These things should be nationalised, and it should be about providing the service. We could do start nationalising, I don't know, nuclear missiles, so we can, I don't know, blow them up and nick all their shit. That's the profit. Let's go. Oh, what have I missed? What have I missed? Hey, cheers, Harry. Harry the Dirty. Hello there, my buddy. He's giving a call a reason to break from the Union. Oh, California, yes. Sorry. Yes, he is. I saw that with Gavin Newsom. He made a short video saying that about withholding funds. And now they're talking about leaving the United States. Crikey, what if that set a precedent? That's it's interesting. Just Mr. Dirty. Harry the Dirty. Oh, you thirsty devil, you. Yeah, so he's giving California a reason to break from the Union. Yes, he is. He really is. Sorry, but obviously I was looking away at the time and didn't flash up, so you really have a separate phone up for that, don't I? Oh, there we go. Picking fruit and veg is paid by what you pick, not by an hourly wage. That's very true. But, you know, they can actually, in the UK, I know like the asparagus pickers, people, like, they can earn quite a lot of money if they're good at it, and daffodil pickers, quite a reasonable amount of money quite quickly. But you have to work your fingers to the bone. That's not normal human type stuff, is it? Yeah, they're letting off rubber rounds now. They're that's right, wedding cake. Rubber rounds and hit that reporter. Oh my giddy aunt! I'll fall out of here in a minute. Falling out of the hammock live. All right, where are we? Right. There we go. Yeah. So Trump orders the Marines to LA as well. In addition, additional deployment as unrest calms. The thing is, he said all these people there, and it's maybe stand a bit. He said all these people, right? And now what they've not got nothing to do. They're standing around twiddling their thumbs. In fact, one of them went to a pride march. Some of them did. Oh, the DEI, oh, terrible. Oh, they're all woke, they are. I bloody well hope so. So, rubber bullets, stun grenades, and other, what they call non-lethal. If it can penetrate your skin, these non-lethal rounds, not the rubber bullets, but the foam ones, penetrate some bloke's leg. He happened to be a photographer. Oh, dear me. How did we get here? Well, dozens of people have been arrested in Los Angeles after immigration raids in the city triggered 4 days of protests. The demonstrations began on Friday after it emerged immigration customs enforcement officers were carrying out the raids in parts of LA with a large Latino population. At least they're standing up for something. The people, that is. I was saying before that these raids all seem, these protests all seem a bit lame, but they're not now, are they? not in California, no. So while they started out peaceful, 5 self-driving vehicles were set on fire. The Waymo cars were set alight. Oh dear. I'm not happy with that sort of stuff because it's really bad for the environment and stuff. So. That's a bit of a greedy. I'm not keen on that. I'd rather people didn't destroy stuff. All it does is give Donald Trump the more justifies them, doesn't it? It provides them with justification. Now, the Los Angeles District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, has told the BBC Radio 4's Today programme that this is all political and it's not helping at all. Regarding what Donald Trump is doing, of course it's political. Donald Trump is edging towards martial law. That's what his end goal. That is what that's the game. It is martial law. That's what he wants. He knows with martial law, if he gets martial law is enacted, well then there's no more vote. No more voting. And Donald Trump will be there until he dies. And then he'll probably hand it over to his son or something stupid. Trump Jr. Cokehead. Oh my Gideon. That'd be funny. It might have been Elon Musk. But no, not now. Not now. No, I think that little food is non-reconcilable. Reconcilable. I can't even say the word now. So, anyway, there's a few little videos I want to share with you. If I can get one here. It's a nice day. I'm nice under the tree. I've got my shade now, you see. My shade. I can see the sun's coming up behind my house, and once that starts coming over, it's going to start getting blooming hot. It's apparently going to be 36 degrees here today, Celsius. So, where are we? Okay, there's a few things I noticed. There we go. Oh, by the way, Billy Joe Armstrong, he tells ICE to F off while he's doing a gig. Yeah, tells ICE to F off in support of LA protests. Yeah, in solidarity, he says. So the National Guard, DHS, threw tear gas canisters. That stuff stings like feck, it does. Some people got to be treated afterwards, didn't they? Just like little Greta Thunberg after that. She had her boat gassed. Great, isn't it? Let me get this one.
Look at this house. What's going on?
Bloody Warzone, isn't it? It's pretty gross, isn't it? Yeah, the French will defend their way of life constantly. They do. They do. And they know how to protest. The farmers, my God. I saw, this is 3 years back now, I was there. The farmers, they literally offload a shitload of bales on the road, block the roads with shitload of bales of hay. Another farmer, he came along with his blooming trailer with, I think it's probably cow shit in, and he dumped it at Lidl's. Outside the doors of Lidl's. Because they were buying, all the food was coming from abroad now. You said they weren't happy about it, the farmers weren't happy. You're buying our meat, they should. So, yeah, the French know how to do it, don't they? Oh, yeah, and the other year, what they do, look, they use liquid manure and they sprayed all government buildings with liquid manure. They muck spreaded them. Oh, dear. That must have been horrendous. Just imagine that. Now, this is the reporter who got herself shot. Rubber bullet.
Has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
No, I watched. So I read apparently they were seen to be aiming at her deliberately. And she's a reporter, bloody great microphone, bloke behind in front of her with a camera, you know, reporters. But part of the problem is the people that a lot of these people have been enlisted for the job, haven't they? You know, if you're talking about ICE and even the National Guard, some of them come from somewhere, haven't they? And they've got certain views, haven't they? Their own views. Some people take those jobs in because they want to hurt people. They want that job. They want to be National Guard, or they want to be the LAPD or whatever, because they want to hurt people. Some people are like that, aren't they? They really are. Only Trump has Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. Very good. I can only know how to say yes in French. Oui! Could get me in trouble. Just say something like, I don't know if you're in the US or... just be an ugly idiot. I'm not saying that Dems are stupid, but they are. Well, some of them are. They're led us to go on. Are they stupid? I don't know. I think they're complacent at the moment. They're complacent and maybe complicit because they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough. They think everything can be just done in the courts or done here or done there. You know what I mean? But it doesn't work that way. Not when you got this geezer who's got Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump. He's ignoring the rules and ignoring the courts. He just is. He's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. What you need in the United States, you need a good leader. You either need someone like AOC. You know, maybe she's a bit sweet. I don't know, but I don't think she takes any shit, does she? You know, or Crockett, or in Waltz even. You know, Bernie Sanders is too old, but you know, he has the right ideas. Oh, what's he there? Oh, crikey. We've got Canadians in the midst. Hello, Canadian. Elbows up. Morning, Marcus. What madness today? Well, I don't know if you realise, but Mark Carney has just said that he's upping the NATO to 2%. And in his statement, which got me, that was a dig at Donald Trump. He says that threats from governments, due to threats from governments. And I thought, when he said, oh, fuck, no, he's always mocking Trump. And Trump doesn't say it. He's not bright enough. He doesn't realise he's been mocked left, right and centre. It's just hilarious. So there's, so Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, who I might sound a bit of a Mark Carney sycophant, but it's only because not only he deserves respect, to be fair. But what he did for us in the UK, how he organised the Bank of England to soften the blow from that instant hit from leaving the European Union, was commendable. It really was. Another brilliant man who used to be in the Bank of England is Andy Haldane. He used to have a nickname like the Sledgehammer or something. He's another formidable character. Very, very clever, very pragmatic people, like Mark Carney. You know, these people understand. It's not just about the politics, but they understand how the economy works. That's what you need in a leader. You need someone who understands the effects of their actions. Not this bumbling buffoon called Donald Trump. He's just absolutely, he's a ridiculous human being. And at least, Mark Carney he won. And Pierre Poilievre is literally just, well, he's fading into the mist. He's no more. It was a approval rate of about 16%. Yeah, Mark Carney is a good guy. He's a good person. He's funny. He's witty. He really is, and he's smart. He's the sort of person you need as a president or a prime minister. He really is. He's clever. He's you know, I do sound like a sycophant, don't I? Oh, why don't you get a room? Oh dear, yeah, thanks for that, Winston. So yeah, there's plenty of madness, plenty of crazies going on, and the biggest crazy of them all is in the White House, or he's playing golf somewhere, and he's getting what he wants. He wants it to rise up, he wants it to turn bad, he wants to have the power to enact martial law. But he also wants it to be just what he thinks it to be. He wants it to be justified. He wants his support base to think, yeah, it's the right thing to do. Martial law, Of course, that's the next step. That's what he wants, and that's what he's going to get. He's going to get martial law. And once you've got martial law, there is no voting. This is a tyranny. I mean, he is literally a tyrant. He's a tangerine tyrant, that he is. A paprika Palpatine. I'm getting a bit too comfortable here. When you pay, hey, Dave, that was Dave saying. Dave. Oh, sorry, no, don't worry. When you pay by the bin, you lend to get a shit ton of coals, which you can't sell. If you have pickers, oh, I see, sorry. If you've got pickers you can't trust, good luck. Oh, so paid by the bin, yes. That's like piecework, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to have crazy temperatures here today. 36 degrees they're telling us we're going to get, so that's going to be non-dog walking weather. We're going to have to wait until late at night to walk the dogs, I think. Got to worry about the roads, you see, as well. If we do a road walk, we don't have to, we can take them across the fields over there if we want. Yeah, it is nice here. We're very lucky. We bought a very cheap property here in France back in 2010, and it was a wreck, absolute wreck. I haven't finished it yet. Still stuff to do. You know, you got a living as well, haven't you? Or try to anyway. And it's I just I do feel a little blessed really like that. You know what I mean? We've got a lovely house. Yes, it took a lot of work. All right, we've got a couple of hectares of land in it, plus a bit more further over there, but in our direct vicinity with what we own, and that we're planting up for trees, you see. And you can probably hear the birds and what have you in the live stream, I imagine. But we have so much birds here now. It's a whole array of different species. And since we've been planting more and more trees and feeding and making sure there's food sources from berries and all sorts of stuff. And it's done wonders. Since we've seen a huge increase in wildlife on our land since we've moved here. Hear that? You know, and it's yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's really, really nice. And that there we go. The madness is here. There's plenty of madness. So there is. Thanks, Winston, for the $9.99. Cheers, buddy. How do I feel about having, says Chromedome, a weapon in the house for defence? I have not got a problem. I don't see the excessive amount of guns, and obviously the type of guns and what have you is a problem. But I don't see a problem personally with having a gun. Because if I had a gun, I'm not going to pick that gun up and go and shoot somebody. You know, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go out and kill somebody because I want to, or because I had some sort of little argument. No, because I'm not a mental flippant arsehole. I hope I'm not anyway. I know it sounds a bit flippant, but that same as say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. So at the end of the day, I could pick up a hammer, a framing hammer at my workshop, and I could quite easily kill somebody with that. But I'm not going to, because I've got no intention of killing anybody. I've got no intention of grabbing an automatic rifle and end up in a school somewhere and killing a load of kids. There's something seriously wrong with society if you feel that, if people think that is the way forward. We used to, in the UK, for instance, we used to have we used to have hospitals for those sort of people, but now we let them wander around in the streets. Crazy. There's plenty of people out there who are bonkers, absolutely bonkers, and if it wasn't guns, it would just be something else. It really would. I've got my compound bow. I could quite easily kill somebody with that, but I'm not going to. Is that Jet Black? Yes, I'm Jet Black's brother. You got to see me with a bushy beard last year. Oh, yeah. The United States is in the Ice Age. It's certainly heading that way. And we will be in the Ice Age if we don't suffer from its environment. Yeah, I don't know about guns. It's difficult one about guns, isn't it, really? Obviously, if you have too many guns out there, it makes it too easy for people. I think there has to be some very strict rules. And I don't think people should be able to, be able to go and buy a gun without doing any training first. I think that's nuts. That's a fair point. Sim Richmond says here, I've never felt the need to have a weapon in the house in the UK. No, I suppose you wouldn't. I don't feel any need to have one here. You know. I don't hardly see anybody. We are in the country, we are. Yeah, we are. We're in the country. And it's nice. It's good for the mind and the soul. All this rat race and running from A to B and feeling that you need to be entertained all the while, you know. You should be able to entertain yourselves, you know. You should be able to find something that... So I'm alright, because I've got so many hobbies, so many things I like doing. I like model aeroplanes, they flying them. You know, and I've got land to do, so I can do that here, and I've got the drones, and I love photography, you know. There's plenty for me to keep you busy. And then obviously making videos all on these various channels, and the woodworking channel and that as well, so there's plenty for me to do. So I don't crave finding other stuff to do. I don't think, what we're going to be doing this weekend? Where are we going out? You know, I'm not like that. That's not who I am. I don't feel the need. Oh, nice one, cheers, buddy. And a Kodachrome. Oh, I remember Kodachrome. I used to use Kodachrome 64. Yeah, transparency. That's the glow of the days. Tragically, it seems we're going the route of the Soviet Union in its final days. Do you know what? I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. If I've understood you. It's scary. I think it's scary. I'm a British citizen and lived in France, you know. And because this affects everybody, where you look at it, it affects everybody. Your economy in the United States is effectively the world economy. You know, what is it, your GDP was it around that 30 odd trillion or something like that? 26, 27 trillion? Well, at least it was. Now you've got crazy debt, but see, the debt isn't necessarily a problem. It's actually a sign that an economy is doing well. It might sound stupid, but it is. It means that other countries see your economy as a safe bet. If they are investing in your country, in other words, buying bonds, they see it as that the dollar is safe. It's like, it's like giving you the thumbs up because you've got big debt. It sounds weird, doesn't it? But it's basically the case. Having a debt is not the problem. It's actually whether or not you can pay for it. And what you've used the debt for. If you've used the debt just to pay for services, well then that's foolish. That is a problem. If you're utilising a debt to build infrastructure, so you allow a country to grow, you know, I don't know, new airports or roads and housing, that's the thing, yeah, housing, you know, decent housing, because some of the places I've seen in the United States are just unbelievably bad. They shouldn't be pulled down. That's the problem with profit, isn't it? That's capitalism for you, and I don't see capitalism as the issue, I see greed as the issue. That's what I see, greed. It's all about greed. Donald Trump is about greed. He's not about... He don't care about you. He don't care about your neighbours. He don't care about Hispanics, Latinos, Americans, you know, Cubans. You name it. He don't care about any of them. None of them. He's got no interest unless you're white. Because he's a feckin' racist. He is a massive bloody racist. It goes back to his grandfather and his father, you know. Racists. Like, was it Donald Trump's grandfather? He was German, mate. He's is it right, German? He came over to the United States and made a life for himself. And then you got Frederick Trump, who got arrested while he was participating with the KKK. These people are just, you know, and you tell what really frustrates me is how those on the right or the MAG and what have you are so happy to oh no, that's not true, oh you're lying, and to dismiss all the stuff that's easy to find online. It's well documented. They'll dismiss all that and spout a load of lies and a load of rubbish about Muslim people or about Sikhs or about different races or creeds, and like they're evil, Pakistani. You know, like our own politicians do it, not just in the United States, but in the UK as well. We had oh crikey, who was it again? Not Pretty Patel. Oh, okay, bad not. Oh crikey, the other one that looked like Fraggle from Fraggles Rock. But anyway, she stood in Parliament and said, you know, about Pakistani white men groovy gangs or something like that in the Parliament. Most of the offences are actually by white men. You know, white British men. Now, Joe Marios, who's in the chat, he's a moderator on the chat, but also he has a channel as well. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and it's good to listen to as a podcast, so that's what I tend to do. I tend to stick them on in my workshop while I'm doing my work and either agreeing or disagreeing. Usually agreeing though. He's very knowledgeable. Going to make a stream or video explaining what socialism is, fascism and the differences. That's a really good idea. That's a good idea. Your channel's growing. Yeah, it's growing. It's steadily growing. You get more views now as well, Joel. I know it's a hard slog, but you'll get there. It's good to spread knowledge anyway. Counter the madness that's out there. Cheeto Bandito. That he is. Oh, California needs to leave the Union. It needs to leave the Union. No, look, I'm Scotland. Now, I've said this, people who know me know what my feelings about Scotland leaving the Union as being part of the United Kingdom. For me, I feel that they should. I don't want them to. I want them to feel that they are a part of the Union, but they don't feel they're part of the Union, so they should leave. They should leave and do what they want to make their own way. And that's what a majority of the Scottish people really want, you know. It scares some of them, but in their hearts they want it. And I don't blame them. The Scottish are not the English. The English are not the Scottish. The English aren't the Welsh. You know, or the Irish, etc. You know, Northern Ireland. All this is through colonialism, isn't it? You know, end of the day. And us trying to impose our ways. You know, the United States wouldn't be there if it wasn't for England, would they? You know, he said, yeah, we won the war, said Donald Trump. No mention, he's going on about Russia and all that. No mention of the United Kingdom, how its part in the Second World War. That's irrelevant to Donald Trump. The fact of the matter is, the United States wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for the United Kingdom. Oh, for England, sorry. Carney did brilliantly with the Bank of England. In fact, they didn't want to get rid of him. He had enough, though. He's getting a lot of... But he phoned up once, I think it was James O'Brien on LBC Radio, talking about, this was post the vote, and even him as a white man was getting racist comments with his kids and stuff from other people saying, get out of the country and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, he's getting a lot of like racist kind of crap from people picking kids up at school. It's just disgraceful, you know. Mark Carney's just a nice bloke, you know. But he's not stupid. He's a nice bloke, but he won't be pushed about. And that's what you need. That's what you need in a leader. You need someone who's strong, but has a good soul. Hello, Jazz the Maniac. I like jazz too. I'm all in for Vancouver, BC, Washington, Oregon, and California, forming a Cascadia and seceding. Yes, they need to. Wouldn't it be hilarious? Also quite scary if Donald Trump triggered the breakup of the United States. Wow. Can you imagine it? He'd be going loopy, wouldn't he? He'd be sending his Marines all over the place. The thing is, though, there's more of you than there are of them. You've got to remember that. There's more of you. Even with the MAGA, you know. Oh, I'm gonna pour in another green tea. It's got Red Lee in it as well, which is licorice. So it's 2 separate tea bags. I was gonna get loose tea, but I couldn't find any. Hello there. Hello, Kim. I hope you're well. I didn't think the downfall of America would be at the hands of someone so dumb. That kind of might be the reason why, eh? Yes. He needs the Fox sound bites, yeah. I used to do live streams in my office, and I have a soundboard in there. But I struggled to get people on that channel, on the horizontal feed. But I could feed in all the sound bites and stuff. You could laugh and other clips and stuff. Oh, talk about clips. There's something on here that I want to share with you, where people are standing up against these, or basically doing little speeches to the LAPD and the National. Oh, this was the National Guard. This was. Let's get back into Blue Sky. It was in here. Not that one. Not that one. Oh yes. RFK Jr. has also decided to replace the Virus Council with his own people. Yes, men. That one? No. No. God, things are getting deleted on Blue Sky now, you know. I keep saving stuff on my phone and then it gets deleted. I'm not deleting it, it's just that it's no longer there. Oh, hang on. The superintendent wasn't very happy either.
Facing conditions that over 40 years I faced as an undocumented migrant to this country. I want to repeat that. I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world, regardless of my position today, if today I did not fight for those who find themselves in the same predicament I faced over 40 years ago when I arrived in this country at the age of 17 as an undocumented immigrant. Education made me and saved me. I became a teacher, a principal, a superintendent leading the nation's largest districts, 4 times selected as National Superintendent of the Year. Do not underestimate the power of the immigrant child who may very well become an adult who does well and good by America.
There you go, look.
If I come across with a certain degree of
That's just sense. That's common sense as far as I'm concerned.
contempt and anger, I am. Because Monday, actions were taken
Yeah, but right.
in this community that have no place in our city, in our state, or across America. I'm still mystified as to how a first, second, third, fourth, or sixth grader would pose any type of risk to the national security of our nation that would require Homeland Security to deploy its agents to 2 elementary schools.
Exactly.
And I want to
Dangerous kids, aren't they?
You may not.
Oh, it's just beggars believe that, you know. He's just a fucking idiot. He really is an idiot, Donald Trump. You're right. He's so dumb. And then we've got things like this going. This is what the LAPD are doing when no one's watching.
Criminal acts occur.
Say that.
The LAPD remains focused on its core mission to protect lives, safeguard constitutional rights, and serve every neighborhood in Los Angeles with integrity. Let me open it up now for any questions you might have or any points that we can clarify.
Being trampled by horses.
Yeah, if I don't know what basis they used to make that decision, but if that was peaceful protest and enforce the law when criminal acts occur.
So I don't know if you can see that properly because it's a bit weird. But basically that's LAPD on horses and that, on horseback. And they're literally trampling this guy and beating him with a stick. You know? Fuck Donald Trump. Yes! Please! Somebody! Fuck him up! Thanks for that, Codegram. I design thumbnails. Do you want to make one for your channel? If you want, if you'll give it a go. You were saying that 40 years backwards, yeah. That's what Donald Trump wants. They say about make America great again. What do they mean by that? What, when there's segregation? Because that's what they're talking about. You know? We dug ourselves too deep in other nations' foreign policy. A lot of you guys now have to consolidate your resources to defend against Russia. Yeah, we do. But Russia's invading Europe. China isn't. You know, Russia's invading Europe. Ukraine. And to be fair to Ukrainian people, they're a formidable bunch, they really are, you know. They're sending over drones, actually these drones themselves are hacking their systems. Any little chink in the armour that they find, they attack it. The Ukrainians, clever. Like the attack last week, but the Operation Spider, where they flew all those drones out the back of the truck, or out the roof of the trucks. They even set up a company in Russia to be able to make it all work. The whole thing kind of, you know, it's just, it's amazing, really. Opens your eyes, and also to the potential risk as well, you know. Yeah, I'll shave my head up a little. Now I got the prickly bit that keep my hat on. Right, so, we know, not that one, not that one, not that one. The National Guard's throwing tear gas at people. Yeah, the little video clips I was going to show you have gone. Bloody hell. This is getting ridiculous. What's that one? Nope, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Nope. Oh, I never. Crikey. What have I got? Light. Where are we? No, no. No. Right. No. That. Oh yeah, and Gavin Newsom, or Newscum as Donald Trump puts him. That's childish, isn't it? It's so childish. California sues Trump over the National Guard deployment to Los Angeles. Yeah, that's true. They didn't have the weather warnings. They got no sharing of data. Yeah, FEMA and what have you, and also NOAA as well. So, and then there's all this money that's been cut from the satellites, the weather satellites. He doesn't even care about his own followers. He doesn't, does he? You know, yeah, that's right. He didn't understand it was a hurricane season. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. I thought, you must be bloody mad. Even I knew it was a hurricane season. And I'm in France. Oh dear. That's the thing about all these people. They don't care about anyone. You know? They don't even care about their own kids. They need to keep the rich very rich, and the rest of us don't register. No, not on their tiny minds. They don't care about people. All they're doing is stealing from the poor to give to the rich. It's literally doing. And people are allowing it to happen. They're allowing it to happen. And it's their own stupidity. You know, this has been going on for some while. Everywhere. They allow the billionaires to extract money from the country, and then it becomes dormant money. Money that doesn't actually end up doing anything. You see, these people have got massive bank accounts where money isn't even invested, it's just in the bank. In a foreign bank account. And the normal people, that sort of money is like, you know, they wouldn't even earn it in a lifetime, you know. And normally that money would be circulated and buying stuff, going people's wages, etc. And you know, it all comes round and round and round. And then you have a self-fulfilling economy. And then it grows, and it grows through maybe foreign money coming into the country. But the problem with that, when it makes money, the money is being made and is expanding on the wealth of others and in the sense of ordinary people, paying for services or renting a property or something that they own. They make shitloads more money, they sell it, what have you, and as a whole company, they don't pay no tax, and then all the money ends up getting extracted out of the country. What happens is, at the moment, the money is going up, then out. That's what's happening. You know, these people are making so much money so fucking quickly, and it's too fast for us to actually notice. You know, like all these tariffs. Ordinary people are going to have to pay more for whatever they buy, food, for instance, and that money ends up going into the federal pot, effectively. You're paying the tariffs. That's not an increase in the economy. Donald Trump's saying, oh, all this extra money we're making. No, you're not. You're just extracting it from the people, those who have to pay the additional monies. Now, you could argue that some of the monies has been, some of the tariff burden is being absorbed by the companies. Yes, that is true. Not all of it, though, is it? By no means. But also, some of these companies are actually sharing the tariff rises across other nations, which is totally immoral and wrong. The steel industry is doing it. We come. He's only thought I was Jack Black for a second. I do get that a lot on my other channel. On my woodworking channel, I get that a hell of a lot. Winston, Joel's channel's literally Joe Marios. It's as it's written. That is his channel. Questioning the United States might become illegal. Well, what Donald Trump is doing is illegal. He's using an act that doesn't even give him the provisions that he's using it for. So he seems a bit crazy. Got a gay Jack Black. Well, considering I've got 6 children, I'm not that gay. Yes, I'm very happy, thank you very much. Oh, dear me. I've been married over 30 years, you know. Obviously, I'm quite a catch. She's held on to me, she has. Oh, I wouldn't care if I was gay, quite frankly, because I'll be gay. Hey! Up we come. I need to move up here. They're burning random businesses and cars. Yes, that's since the police turned up. It was... Oh, thank you, Rain. Beautiful property. Yes, it is nice here. Yeah, but they're only doing it since they it's only a few people anyway. It's not everybody. Most people just peacefully protested. You know, I think that's fair enough. I think that's well within their rights to do so, isn't it? I want to be a dictator, but I will be a good dictator. I'm a libertarian. What? I suppose on that note, you're saying that be a good dictator. If you think communism, as a system, it should work. The problem is there's always greedy factors, and the same with capitalism. As a system, it should work perfectly fine. But there's greed. There's always greed. Always people want what everybody else has got, or more than what people have got, and that was never enough. You know, always want more. Look at Donald Trump. He always wants more. Oh, my giddy out! I've got my dog. Come on, you. What do you want? Where are you? You got squeeze down there, are you? What a little Pandora girl. Oh, you excited to see me? Are you? You get hot out here, girl? That's my little Pandora. She's a funny little thing, she is. Does something smell good down there, does it? You want a sniff? I ain't got no treats in my pocket, girlie. I'm sorry. Oh, she's decided to have a wee. That's nice. Oh, God, there we go. Trump needs to deploy the army, yeah. Not just ICE. The dissidents and illegals are like... Oh, for God's sake, these people. Oh, it's just crazy. You know he doesn't like you. Donald Trump thinks you're an arsehole. He's just using you. He don't give a damn about anybody. He really doesn't. He just... He doesn't think... He wouldn't give you... He wouldn't piss on you. That's who he is. He wouldn't piss on you. He's using you. But you know, if you think he's fantastic and if you love him, well, you know, That's up to you. Takes all sorts, you know. Tell it old Cheeto Bandito, yeah. Go on, suckle on this old chocolate starfish, will you? Since the military was called in, yeah, there was. Everything turned bad when the LAPD and the National Guard were called up. They ended up down there. It just turned aggressive. When you start firing fucking bullets at people, while they're just peacefully protesting, you know, of course it's going to turn nasty. It's called provocation. Morning, just a guy from Canada. Wishing you have a great day, you too. Beautiful country. My granddaughter came back from Canada about 3 days ago, just Saturday. She came back on Saturday. So she's there for 3 weeks in Canada. Yeah, they've got relative family over there. I want a country with libertarian policies, but I don't want to want people to be able to change it. That wouldn't be that's not democratic, though, is it? You are talking about dictatorship, then, aren't you? So I wouldn't. Diplomacy has to be the way, because then everybody has a say. But you must educate people so their say is worth having. You know, that's what. For instance, you got the MAGA, right? Oh, crikey, you knocked it all over. You got the MAGA, right? You're not going to try and tell me that they're the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you? You know, because they're not, are they? Let's be honest. It's the same with the Brexiters, you know, in the United Kingdom. They're clearly not the sharpest out there. Unless we educate people, you know, or just be well read or inform people properly, you know, with honesty, and get rid of this fucking right-wing bloody media that's just lying all the time, mistruths and manipulations. They need to deal with that. If they don't, they're a creek without a paddle, because that's not diplomacy. News should be there to report news, not to make up some story about something that's not even real or even... How many times have you read an article and you read the title and you think, wow, bloody hell, really? And you read the first paragraph, oh my God, bloody really? Then you realise about 2 paragraphs down that it's oh, is that it? The anticlimax is just setting. You know, it's just... It's all manipulation and... I consider political rights and civil rights to be different. Okay. I need to look into that a bit more. I don't quite understand where you're coming from with that, really. I got a debate going on about it. About libertarian communism. You could have civil rights in a country but not allow people to run for government. I'm really confused now, because how can you have a government then, would you? If no one can run for government, there won't be a government. They're only people after all. Maybe we should have the people and then an AI government. Everything be run by artificial intelligence, but then there's just other people. And then it goes away. Eventually the government would break down if the people can't get in. There won't be no one to replace them, would there? Was it going to be... they're going to have their children take over or something? Bit of dynasty. Capitalism does work for the vast majority. Yeah, we just got to root out the greed And we need to control people like Jeff Bezos to some degree, you know what I mean? Or encourage them to spend the money. If these people have all that shit, I'm getting a bit like, tied in. I feel like I'm going to be consumed by this hammock. We need these rich buggers to spend the money. We need the money to we need it to recirculate. They don't spend enough. Money's just sitting there in the bank as useless money. It means nothing. But it has the power to help people. But when you've got someone there, effectively, who's just gathering it up for their own purposes, well then, quite frankly, this should be, it should be criminal, shouldn't it? There we go. It's corrupted the soul like a body snatcher. The invasion of the body snatchers. There are some... I'm just working class, me. I'm a woodworker, that's what I am. There are some things that shouldn't be for profit, yes. Very true. Healthcare, for example. Most definitely. They should have very little or no part in it. Well, look what's happened in the United States, look what's happened in the United Kingdom, selling off all our data to Palantir. And now Palantir and Donald Trump were making this massive database with absolutely everything in it. It's control. Second you capitalise healthcare, it becomes a health grift system. It's all about money again, isn't it? Like for instance, the lobbying regarding the medications and stuff by the big pharma, and then you get these doctors who basically got their hand in their pocket. I wish I produced a bit more profit. Just use tax credits and vouchers as an alternative to subsidised healthcare. That would be so clumsy. That would be really, really clumsy and difficult to and expensive to facilitate. That's the thing you see about the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. There's no administration in the sense of actually making sure if you are entitled, pretty much. It's that the administration on that front is very, very simple because we got our national health card when we are old enough, and from that we got obviously a number of having entitles us to our health care. A bit like Social Security, really, isn't it? I suppose, but it's a system that does work to a degree. It just hasn't got enough money, enough people. That hammock is holding on for dear life. It's not going to let me go. I know. I've got another one over there, hammock over there, but we just put this one in. Yesterday we put this one, so I want to test it. It's held my weight all this time, and it is holding on for dear life. It is. 11 AM on a Tuesday, sitting on his hoop, and this fella's whining about others. Oh dear me. Oh, you have got no idea what I do. Oh dear, whining I am. Oh, you fucking magger, fucking Brexiters. Oh, crikey, they're all a pain in the neck, they are. We need to educate them. Either that, or mince them, and make them into pies. Big, thick, crusted pies. That's what we should do with the mag. Yeah. All those, the older MAGA, though, what we'll have to do is to tenderise them first. Yeah, a bit like you would, yeah, cook them like you would do a goat. Yes, that's what you do. How much the hammock? What? That was what, 20 quid, 20 euros, I think it was. The US has to feel what fascism is, to realise it is really bad. I hope they get rid of, when they all learn, it is a bad idea. But that's a valid point, actually. You know what usually happens, doesn't it? When you get the rise of the right, and when they get anywhere near power, people, they can't, they see, like they did with Trump last time, they wake up, they realise, crikey, and shit, and then they didn't vote for him, and they vote him back in again, because they're not happy again. See, people are never going to be happy. When you've got a government that's only in for a few years, and they're not acting on, let's say, the best interests of the country, they're doing what they need to do to get in the next election. Donald Trump is doing it so he doesn't even have to have an election. Well, there you go, martial law. Who says I don't work? I've got a fucking oak door on my bench at the moment that I'm building. That's called work. You know nothing about me. And that's my work schedule and how much work I have to do. And I don't care. None of your business. Palantir wants to document your guns, do they? Crikey. Why do they need to know that? Yeah, Palantir are in our NHS. They, well, we sold all our data to them for a start. All the doctor's data has been sold to Palantir. Oh, sorry, we're listening. This guy, this guy is criticising the management of the NHS while sitting in a hammock on a Tuesday morning, contributing absolutely nothing, yet you're here listening to me. What does it say about you, you plonger? Oh, dear me. Code correct. I used to live in OVA. I had a son in Georgetown Hospital. $50,000. How do people find this money? These streamers are scammers. Oh dear me, yeah. Oh, you're a fool. What a fool. Some mothers do have them, that they do. You can't help it, you're dropped on your head as a baby that you are. In fact, your mother took one look at you and said, "Fucking hell." She tried to strangle you. And the oxygen got starved from your brain, it did, yeah. And unfortunately, the dad walked in. "What are you doing to my son?" Yeah. And he ain't much better. No. Do you want to read my messages? I can't say the Marines are being deployed to California illegally when you have people setting cars. Oh, damn me. Some people are deluded, aren't they? You realise the majority of the people in those protests are peaceful. There are one or two people there causing problems. But the fucking police, the LAPD, the 300 National Guard that have been sent, are firing bullets at people who are just standing in the crowd. They've hit one photographer so far and a journalist who are just doing their jobs. Evil begets evil. There was no problems with the protests. Even the LAPD, they made a statement early on. I'm being consumed by this fucking hammock. They made a statement early on stating that, thanking the protesters for being, for a peaceful protest and how well organised it was. And then the fucking police turned up under the guise of Donald Trump and the National Guard, and it all went tits up. Now, actually, a contract has been cancelled in LA with ICE. And now they're taking them to court. Gavin Newsom's going to take Donald Trump to court over this. And it is illegal because he's enacted the wrong act. You don't use it against your own bloody people for that purpose. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's turning the army against his own people. What kind of man does that? Donald Trump said in I think it was his previous term, he actually, I remember it's got in my head now, he actually stated there's no need for the National Guard when there was a protest. It was probably Black Lives Matter or something like that. There's no need for the National Guard. That's what he said in his previous term. And now he's using National Guard. And that was an aggressive protest. Well, it turned nasty. I mean, it was probably Black Lives Matter or something like that after George Floyd was killed. One day, you could be at the receiving end of tyranny yourself. You're not safe. He don't give a shit about you. Don't want to read my messages. I haven't even seen your message. The first message I've seen from you. And now I'm the content because the lazy boy can't think of anything. Oh dear me. These people are so pathetic. Does he realise that I do give a shit about that? I am too long in the tooth to worry about what you have to think. Because I know you're an idiot. Alright? You're a very stupid person. Stupid is as stupid does. You can't help it. No, you can't. Dear me. He's probably got a face only his mother can love. Apparently I'm a lazy boy. God's sake. It's just me and the missus here, right? We've got 2 hectares of land that we have to look after. I've got my workshop, for which I'm a woodworker, that's what I do. I've also got other channels as well, educational channels. That's still a lot of money, isn't it? Vincent, How the hell are people going to get by when Medicare's gone and Medicaid's gone? It's literally in that budget bill. The amendment bill. 800 billion been cut from Medicaid, and I think it was 500 or 600 billion from Medicare. That's all the budget. Don't be confused by the name. I'm just an Orwell fan with a C-section scar. Oh, my missus has got a C-section scar too. I care about Los Angeles. Has been a keeper. I've got family down there. We should care about people, and we should care about everybody. But those who want to do harm to others or promote it, they go hell. Sorry, I've got no love for them whatsoever. Because some of these people are just unbelievably, they're just horrid. Absolutely horrid people. Like I say, put them in the pie. We felt what fascism is when the Biden criminal regime, and the majority of us are quite happy with the President Trump doing what he's elected him to do. A criminal Biden. This is so stupid. So you try and make out that Biden was bought. What do you think Donald Trump is doing? In his $400 billion $1 jet that he probably won't actually get because it wasn't even meant for him. That was meant for Erdogan in Turkey. It's just the idiocy, the hypocrisy of these people. It's just, oh dear me. It's quite funny having some MAGA maniacs in the chat. It is, yeah. It really is. It's just these people are just clearly out of their fucking minds. There's no saving some people, you know. They were dropped on their head as a child. They can't help it, though. This is who they are. Oh dear. Probably didn't even go to school, and if they did, they definitely didn't go to college. They say in the United States that 30% of those in education only got to 11th grade standard. Well, from what I can see, yeah, that's probably is true. Before you say, well, you haven't gone to college, yourself, I've got a degree, all right? 2002. If Trump keeps messing up, he's going to lose the House in 2026, at least. I hope so. I just hope so. People are saying for what he is. And even people who might have voted for him because they didn't like Biden for whatever reason, or they might... Yeah, there are MAGA type people out there who have woken up. They are. They're woke. Oh, okay, if you're going to start using defamatory comments against other people in the chat, you can go. Remove. That's it, you're gone. Oh, I've got rid of him now. He's just getting stupid. He's just spamming the chat now. That's why we don't want your sort in California. It's just codogram. Yeah, I got rid of him now. It's just getting too much now. I don't mind the debate, but that was just getting stupid. Oh, the mainstream press is horrendous. Fox News is just, oh, God's sake. Oh, my audio's scuffed. Has the audio gone crazy, has it? Is the audio okay now or not? Nope, they're not lying to us, because we get our news from various sources, including from the United States. So, I think there might be somebody else getting lied to here. Yeah, it needs to stay peaceful, ideally. Ideally. Anyway, I've been live for almost 2 hours, and I do actually need to do some work. So, even though apparently I don't work. So, how do I support myself if I didn't work, you know? Lazy. And my wife. And my dogs. Just realised I burnt my leg. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Still say toodaloo now. I'd like to thank everybody who's participating in the chat, especially normal people. And Joel for moderating in the chat. Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot, friend. Joel's also got a channel as well. She talks about all sorts of stuff, really, not just politics, but you know, explains how things are, and he's talking, doing about socialism and stuff. He's an interesting guy, and thank you very much for the super chats, and that was, you know, that's really appreciated. Because, you know, without the support, the channel would obviously would disappear. It's just, you know, 'cause in the day, I can't sit around doing nothing, can I? Oh, I say, some mothers do have them. Stupid as a stupid does. Anyway, toodaloo. Take care, guys and girls. And even MAGA people. Take care and maybe get a little help.